Hey guys, welcome back yet again. I don't know about you, but it feels like there has been something going on astrologically all the time. Like it was not one thing, it's the next. If it's not a retrograde, it's a full moon. If it's not a full moon, it's an eclipse. If it's not an eclipse, it's a conjunction or some kind of intense setup with planets and they're da 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 da. So if you're feeling wild and crazy right now, yep. We'll talk about it a little bit. We're going to talk about the Aquarius New Moon, which is February 1st. It's also the Lunar New Year, Chinese Lunar New Year. So we're going to talk about that. The cool thing is there's a lot of like new things that are happening this year, like the Gregorian calendar, January 1st, New Year resolution, Lunar New Year, a new start. Aries season's coming up. A new start. So we have chances to do something new. If that's something that you're struggling to get off the ground, it's okay. If you have to sit down and cry a bit, do it. I've been doing it. It's not a bad thing. It literally, if there's something you're struggling with, right, and it's bothering you, and you're like, I know I shouldn't necessarily feel this way. Like, I understand the way the universe works. I understand that things happen to show me other things, yada, yada, yada. Get it out still. I had to sit and cry yesterday about how everything's going wrong. Nothing's going to be right. I shouldn't do what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. And then I got to a place where I was like, no, I like what I do. Actually, I enjoy this. This is my passion. So why would I do that? And it's sometimes when we doubt ourselves, we get filled with a lot of that, the self-limiting beliefs, and that energy can be really heavy. So get it out. Remember, when you get something out, it's going to come out with that energy, same type of energy it got locked away with. So you might feel some heaviness, some sadness, release it, get it out. If you're interested in knowing each week what the energy read will be, notes on major retrograde, well, all the retrogrades, they're all major when they happen, retrogrades, directs, different alignments. Shameless plug, join my Patreon, links down below. The 1111 and up tier will get you blogs, it'll get you energy updates, it'll get you, depending on the tier you choose, a personal reading once a month. So definitely something to look into. So worth it. $22 a month, you can get a personal reading every month. Hello, you're saving like almost $200. So shameless plug. Go ahead and do that. Otherwise, keep watching. There's this video, there's other videos, there'll be more videos. This is great. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for supporting me, for being here, for wanting to know how space is affecting you today. So let's talk about the Aquarius New Moon. It is a funny thing. It is technically in the United States, it's on 2 different days. If you live on the West Coast, you will see this full moon on the, I got really stuck. Now I got it backwards. The 31st. And then on the East Coast, you'll see it on the 1st. I may have that backwards. I feel like that's wrong, but it's the 31st and the 1st, depending on where you are in this country. Can you tell that things have been crazy? I know I'm gonna drink some coffee. But yes, this is, and I said full moon, I think. Boop, 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 starting again. Aquarius, new moon, and Lunar New Year, February 1st. Depending on where you are in the country, you might see this new moon on the 31st. But it's within the same few hours. It's just midnight that changes it. So time is an illusion, right? It signals Lunar New Year. It's the year of the water tiger, which is encouraging you to go with the flow, right? Opportunities to start fresh are before you. Like we talked about, all these new years, these new beginnings are here. So there's no excuse. If you want something different, now's the time to do something different, right? Water also supports, English is hard when you're an alien. Water supports your intuition and following a heart-centered space, like making decisions coming from a heart-centered space. So keep that in mind. Water. It's emotions, right? We look at cups and tarot, cups, water, emotions. So sit back, take direction from the ebb and flow of the universe. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, so this moon may shake stuff up, but Uranus does that in the name of awakening, right? So if things don't get shaken up, we don't see different ways to approach them. We don't see another way of doing things completely. We don't see all these things unless it gets shaken up and we're like, okay, this needs to change. Okay, this is working. All right, how do I integrate these things together? That doesn't happen until it's right there in your face a lot of the time. So let it shake you out of the stagnant rut you might be feeling, right? Maybe you're like, well, this is what I want to do. I'm going to move forward in this direction, but I can't figure it out. I can't start moving forward. I'm feeling very stagnant. I'm feeling very heavy. Mercury is going direct in a couple days. So when the dust settles from that, you'll be able to see the opportunities that come up in front of you. And when Mercury goes direct, that means all planets will have stationed direct. So nobody will be retrograde. And that'll bring, that'll bring an end to that chaotic wave of retrograde energy we've been feeling. So that's on the 4th. Now, leading up to then, in the next few days, you might feel, and maybe the past couple weeks, especially since Mercury has been retrograde, and Venus just went direct a couple days ago. So like within the past couple weeks, especially next few days, you're gonna feel the effects of retrograde as those planets are all realigning into their direct positions, right? There's a shadow period. So don't freak out if you're still feeling wily and you're like, all the planets are direct. What is it? What's in power right now? Your brain. My brain's in retrograde. So yes, not after that, but now, because of that, is a great time to set clear intentions for this next month, right? So from now till the next new moon. So you're clarifying your goals, you're starting new projects, you're being sure to acknowledge your growth since the last new moon, but also the last Aquarius, the Aquarius full moon, which was illuminating those things in the same energy that now are being put into motion, right? So the Gemini cold moon in December of this past year was the last new moon we had, and that was telling you to slow down, to rest, to reevaluate, get ready for the birth of a new season. Does that sound familiar? That time is now. Here we are, the new season, right? Literally, Lunar New Year. Lunar, lined up with the mooner. So if you need a little reminder, go back and watch the Gemini cold moon video that I did. Sorry, that was hard. And just look at the read again, hear the information, so you can compare to now, right? Remind yourself how far you've come. It's easy to get lost in it especially when there's so much going on. It's like boom, 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 boom. There's no time to recover. So it's really hard to see what's actually been accomplished. Do that. Also, on August 22nd of last year, we phased through the Aquarius full moon. That had us seeing new opportunities coming to a light as a result of hard work and intention setting, right? So the new moon before that is setting intentions, is putting things into motion. What is the direction, right? And this is the result of that. It was the second Aquarius full moon of last year. So this Aquarius energy has been really strong and carrying through for us, right? That was a wild month. We had 2 full moons technically in the same sign, because that zodiac season had 2 full moons. You know what I mean? You can put it together. Or maybe not. But we'll get there. So that expansion energy was illuminated and set into motion. It's being made manifest by rearranging things a little bit. in a big way, a little bit in a big way. It could be a little bit, I don't know. It feels like a lot, but then you, again, take that step back and reevaluate, and it's like, okay, it was just tweaks here and there, but it changed things in a big way, so it felt like this massive, chaotic tower moment, essentially. If you're still feeling tower moment, it feels like they're never ending sometimes. Trust me, I'm right there with you. You're not alone. You're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you because you're struggling so much right now, if that's your reality. It's a hard time. It's been a hard time for a couple years, right? And so we're still kind of in this, what's really happening with society, what's happening with humanity. You know, sometimes those questions come up, and then it's like, well, what's the point, right? I'm sure you felt that at points, especially over the past couple years. Things are uncertain, not really sure what the next day is going to bring as far as being able to branch out, being able to do certain things a certain way. So it can be hard to plan ahead if you're not really sure what's going to happen. So yes. Remember, so much is going on right now. It's retrogrades, all this stuff, but we're moving things forward. Things are setting into motion because of work that's been done. So the work never ends, but it does change. It gets easier to navigate things. Shaking things up. Ooh. So just keep that in mind. You're doing great. Struggle is part of it. I know that sounds wild. Like, beauty is pain. What? We struggle because if we don't struggle from our perspective, then we can't understand the highs. If we don't have lows, what are the highs? It just is being, right? It's not anything special. And the places where you put in work, right, when you have that transition to a high, it won't feel like a payoff if you know what I mean? Like, the ebb and flow, everything's in waves. Sound's in waves, light is in waves, the ocean is in waves, we wave. So just remember, there's an ebb and flow, ebb and flow, ebb and flow. The waves on the beach, right? The tide comes in. You don't want to sit where the tide is, right? You have to readjust to the tide if you're at the ocean. You have to move, but then you can come back to that place once the tide goes out. You dance with, just like you dance with the ocean. Dance with the waves in your mind. Remember, it's hard sometimes because you can't get away from your mind. It's inside your head. So if you're struggling with that, if you're feeling really chaotic and you want to get away from yourself, don't forget to take a breath. Remind yourself, like, I need to take a second for myself. It's okay to not accomplish this and this and this and this and this and this and this if I feel like I'm going to snap. Step away. Tell the people you need to. If it's right there, right? I got to take a second because things are shifting so much it can get overwhelming, right? I don't want anyone to get so lost in a space that it's too much for them. It's hard. It can be hard. I don't know. I feel like I need to say that. You know, it's our mental health is such an important thing, and it doesn't matter what you believe spiritually, religiously. Like, we all have emotions, we all have minds, we all have nervous systems, and so we all feel the ebb and flow of emotions, and what goes on around us affects us. You know, we're energy beings. We're made of a lot of water, so of course all these big planets and all these big massive energies affect us. Just keep that in mind. You're not crazy. Or, like, if you identify that way, okay, you're crazy and it's a good thing. It's great. You know, whatever you want to look at it. There's something wrong with you. All right. Let's see what the energy is for this new moon. What we can expect, ways we might expect to see growth, ways we might expect to see things come up that need to be removed. You know, whatever it may be. Right away, I can tell you there's lots of reversals. I pulled 3 cards from that deck. We'll pull 3 cards from the next deck, and then we're going to talk about them. And if you're, as always, if you're ever interested in what decks I'm using, it will be in the description down below. All right, friends. We have a theme that keeps coming back up for us. I'll tell you right now, last card I picked was the Five of Stones in this deck, which is the Five of Pentacles. And that's, we talked about that one in, pointing over there like the video's over here, and a video we had before. It was one of the cards from last year, and it's that impoverished card, right? That feeling of lack. So that is a theme that's following through, and it makes sense given what we have. First of all, we have is the Queen of Cups reversed. Now, every single card that I've pulled today is a reversal, which means that it's internal work that we're doing, which makes sense because this is a new moon, right? New moons don't illuminate. It's a space, a shadow period, shadow work. It's a moment to go within, to set those intentions, to start moving forward, right? So it's going within to break the chains of whatever is that those self-limiting beliefs are that are carrying through. For Aries season, I believe the devil came up, which is releasing self-limiting beliefs, releasing chains. So that's a theme, you know, coming through this month. So remember too, if you're feeling a certain energy or theme as you navigate lunations or zodiac changes, make sure you look at the other read in that. Like if you're wondering, okay, there's more to the energy read that was done for Aquarius season, I feel like there's more. Okay, well, this read also will help with that because they're within the same season. So all these reads compound on each other. So if you're ever looking for a little bit more of a clarifier, just find a read within that same area. And it's okay, you don't have to only watch my reads, right? Find someone else who's doing a read on the new moon and compare those and see what the energy is, see how it connects, see what else you can glean from it, right? We're all collective, so all that information that's out there, it's just this library for you. So remember, if it's not really making sense, there's more energy out there to emphasize what's been said. Okay, Queen of Cups. Queens are the internal embodiment of that energy, right? Cups are emotions. So the Queen of Cups, in her most elevated point, is calm, aware of emotions, grounded, connected. We talked about the ebb and flow of the sea. This queen is sitting in a beach chair by the ocean, right? So it's that ebb and flow. That's something we need to make sure that we're being aware of. See this moon? Moons pull the sea because it's water, right? Moons play with water. Moons, probably all moons, but we're talking about our moon. Because of that pull, they pull on us too, right? So remember that our emotions can be heightened around new and full moons because the moons are at their highest power and they play with water very well. Could say very well, it could say not well enough because it can feel crazy, but that means that they're doing their job, they're pulling things up. So this reverse queen is just, she wants you to stop for a second and to look within and to just see where you can find balance for your emotions. Where are you not listening to your intuition? Where are you not riding the wave? Yes, process it. Yes, put together what you need to, and like feel things. It's good to feel things, but don't let that take over. Don't let that take over your story. Don't let that take over your life, right? Don't let one moment become your existence. And it's time to make some decisions. The Two of Swords is about making decisions, and a lot of times it's about making decisions between things that neither of which seems like an exciting proposition. You don't really want to make either of the decisions, but not making a decision is making a decision. And this is stagnation. This reversal is saying that you're scared to choose a direction because you're afraid that it might fail. Well, if you don't do anything, then you failed yourself at those ideas, those dreams, those manifestations, those intentions. Don't fail yourself by not taking steps, right? You deserve everything that you see up here that you want to build for yourself, right? Just because it's hard doesn't mean that you're not supposed to do it. It just means that it needs a little bit more energy. Now, again, doors do close on us and we have to be able to discern, but that doesn't mean give up right when it gets hard. That means keep trying different approaches. And if none of them work, reevaluate, reassess, work from there. You're not being grateful enough for what you do have, for what is working, right? The Nine of Cups is about gratitude, seeing everything you've made, everything you've brought to light, everything you manifested, and just finding contentment, being thankful for right here, right now, what you have, what you've created, the life that you've created for yourself. It might not be where you ultimately want to get to, but that's okay. You're here right now. What do you have to be thankful for? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have food in your tummy? Do you have running water? If you don't, what other things can you look at right now, right? I mean, you have internet. You're watching this, if you're watching this on your phone or your laptop, or a phone or laptop or computer. And that's abundance. It might not be yours. It might not be how you want it to be right now. You might be cold while you're watching this. You might be hungry while you're watching this. I just want to remind you that you have everything you need to get to those points. Don't give up on yourself. Don't let that feeling of defeat overcome so completely that it takes charge, right? It's okay to feel that way, but now it's processing through that. And as we practice gratitude and we embody that as an attitude, then it starts to carry through and things will start to shift and we'll see those things happen not the way that we're scared of or not happen. Things start to move forward when you give thanks for what is right now. It doesn't mean you have to accept it as the ultimate. It just means I'm here right now. This is it. This is what I have. These are the things that I can be grateful for. These are the things that I want to work on. Now we move forward, reminding ourselves of these things we have to be grateful for while we work towards what we're trying to manifest. Make sense? No sense? Comments. Please leave a comment if something is unclear at any point and you want a little clarification. I will get to you and I will respond. So excuse me, it takes a little time sometimes because we're all navigating the crazy, but yes, I want it to be clear. High Priestess, the seer in this deck. The High Priestess, reversed. You're disconnected from your intuition. They go very well together. I pulled them below each other. Well, in line. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So the High Priestess is that mature, maternal energy. It's not so much nature or nurture or sensuality. That's the Empress, right? This is the High Priestess. She is in her intuition. She is sitting in her knowledge. She is sitting with everything that the universe has given her, and she's using those tools to progress forward. She's using those tools. So if we're disconnected from ourselves, then we're basically disconnected from our toolbox. Your intuition will connect you to everything you need to move forward. As long as you're listening, again, listen to the ebb and flow of the universe. Listen to the ebb and flow within yourself. Follow your gut. Make sure you take time to recognize, is my gut leading me am I triggered? And that's why my gut feeling is this, that, the other thing. Okay, let's sit and process through that, because sometimes your triggers are correct, right? It can be irrational, but they also can be a mechanism showing you that, hey, there's a reason we're triggered right now, right? So sit with yourself and know that you can't always make mentally clear decisions in a triggered state, because that is an autonomous response. And so don't judge yourself if you're every once in a while. We can't always have it together. We can't always be on top of it. But recovering is most of the battle, right? We take that moment, we process through it, and now we implement the tools that we've gained from that moment. Knight of Wands. This is a forward motion card. This is it's like the action card for the deck. Hang on a second. There's part of me that feels like that might be it. I have a deck and it's got bows, arrows or swords. This is wands. Wow, I doubted myself for a second. Thanks for being here for that. Reverse Knight of Wands. possibly trying to move forward, but it's not. It's time to start taking steps, but it's not time to, like, don't just bite off a big chunk and take off running into the sunrise, because you burn yourself out. So this is telling you to make sure that you get things in order, to make sure that you look at how things are. You make sure that you're integrating that feeling of lack, that feeling of loss, that feeling of poverty. This card came out under this card, gratitude card, right? If you're feeling like you don't have what you need, you're feeling poor, you're feeling pushed aside, you're feeling like you don't matter, you don't belong, you can't do it, you don't have what you need, you don't have what anyone wants, make sure that you stop and remind yourself that your thoughts create your reality. The way you think about yourself dictates how you talk about yourself, which ultimately dictates how you treat yourself, which dictates how you exist in life with yourself. It dictates so much. And so we want to make sure that when our thoughts are those of lack or lack of gratitude or indecision or disconnection from our intuition and our emotions, or this desire to just push ahead even when we shouldn't, that we stop ourselves and we take a second to process those thoughts and be like, why do I feel this way, and what can I do to change that into that feeling of gratitude and that really strong indecision and ability to make decisions, intuition, a strong intuition and ability to make decisions for your greatest good. It's a lot of internal work, and I know that it feels like there's been so much of that, but friends, that's important. That's why we're here right now. There is this crazy transition happening, and you know, we can look at all of the bad things that have come from the past 2 years. It's easy to see all the chaos, all the destruction, all the death, but we have to see how there also was a sort of reset, right? Some things happened in a way that's positive that wouldn't have happened if that wave hadn't come to us, right? So we can look at all the hang-ups, all the ways that these couple years have ruined our lives, have pushed things aside, have stopped the train from rolling. If you had a train rolling and this in 2020 derailed it, it wasn't set correctly. It got derailed so you could take a step back and reevaluate. And this, what these past couple years have been, is a lot of internal work, a lot of reevaluation, a lot of sitting with our emotions, a lot of taking that time, right? A lot of us had a lot of time where we were just hanging out with ourselves, hanging out with our brains. That can get chaotic, that can get wild, that can get scary. In and through, though, that's how you heal. And so being able to navigate through that is so important, because you come out on the other side, and while it doesn't go away, it doesn't necessarily change all the circumstances right away, excuse me, it sets you up to better navigate what comes next. Because what comes next, we don't know, right? We've been shown over the past little bit that life is unpredictable, and that's okay. You know, you're not in control, but guess what? You never were. You were trying to be. You thought you were, but you weren't, right? We're not in control. We can have control to a certain extent, but at some point the universe takes over, and no matter what we do, how much we scream and cry, how much we try to run, it's still going to happen the way it happens. And that's an important thing to remember, right? You know, we can't be in control all the time. We can't feel in control all the time. So we're, on that note, gonna pick some of these inner wisdom cards and see what's up. Hope that this lunation brings you a lot of understanding about yourself, that connects you more to your heart and shows you the areas that you need to change the way you think about it. Maybe, you know, maybe it's not even like this grand gesture you have to make to yourself or the universe or a circumstance. Just adjust your thinking a little bit when, you know, like it's a dance, and see how that serves you. I'm going to read the descriptions for these cards out of this little pamphlet because they're written so beautifully well. And, you know, we can know what it means, but why not hear from the artist? Shine on, reflect, float. Let yourself refract sunlight, glisten with soul light. Sunlight illuminates our skin and everything on the planet. Stars in the night sky twinkle and the moon glows. Light is the source. Be a clear channel for soul lighting to flow through you. Come back into alignment with what you truly are. A holograph of love and light, right? We're not this body. We're the soul and the essence embodying this body, right? This is just a meat suit, beep, boop, bop, beep, boop, 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 right? When this meat suit's gone, you will still exist. You as a essence will still exist. You as a being will be disintegrating in the ground. But, you know, like, even if you look at most major religions, let's talk about religion for a second. Most of them have afterlives or heaven or somewhere else you go after you die. And I believe that. It's not this that goes, though. It's you. And that's a fun question. Who am I? And then, like, if you give yourself an identity based on, like, being someone's parent or child or something like that, stop. But who are you really, right? Because that's not who you are. That's a role you play. Whoa. All right. Brilliance. Your inner genius shines brilliantly to all you come in contact with. A radiant journey. Make the self a priority. A gem worth looking closer at and being enraptured by. Peel back the layers of the self, and you will find the universe in its entirety. Breathe in with astonishment at the wonders of your very existence. You're shining. You're brilliant, right? Excuse me. It might not feel that way, but there you be. And it's a great thing. All right. Pulled 2 animals for us today. Let's see what's up. We'll get the dog. It's associated with friendship, loyalty, companionship. Today we'll love without condition. My energy and enthusiasm are an inspiration. I choose to be happy. I am a protector and friend. Remember, gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And the raven. It's a big one. It's a shaman card. It's a shaman animal. You're the creator and magician. Magician. Use your gifts for good. There is power in your wisdom and words. Connect with the elemental spirits and glide through the void. Claim your place as keeper of the mysteries. Keep on shining. Keep on vibing and gliding and, you know. I'm so glad you guys are here today. Thank you so much. I hope that any questions you might have had coming in about the energy around this have been answered, and that, while it may not be the most comfortable period of time right now, it is very transformative. So that's there. If you would like to have a personal session, please feel free to, you can book a session in my Beacons link. My Patreon's down there. Join my Instagram. Follow. And don't forget to subscribe so that you know when the videos come. But may this Aquarius New Moon serve you well, bring you exactly what you need. Keep leaning on yourself, keep leaning on the universe, and lean on those around you. Make sure that you're all lifting each other up, because we're the collective galactic star babes. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next now moment.